Sebastian Maniscalco.
My wife and I went to go see Hamilton on Broadway.
It Ain't Right Tour 2024.
Oh my God, it is amazing. We saw it. Oh, it changed me it changed me. Now, as soon as I hear that, I'm like, I ain't gonna like this.
Sebastian Maniscalco, live on stage in Des Moines, Wells Fargo Arena, December 15th, 2024. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit sebastianlive.com.
The holiday tradition, a Birkwood Farm ham. It's the highlight of the meal, the centerpiece of the table. It's what brings families together. The Iowa tradition from Iowa farmers. Birkwood Farms hams are gluten, MSG, allergen, and nitrate free. Buy yours now at the Birkwood Farm store on the south side of Ankeny or at betterpork.com. Order yours today. Your family's favorite holiday memory, a Birkwood Farm ham.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru and BMW of Des Moines. Live and on demand across Iowa everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios. This is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy. Connected by Cellular Advantage.
Let's do it. Welcome to Murph and Andy live in West Des Moines and San Diego, along with Andy Fales and Andrew Downs. I'm Keith Murphy. And Andy, I'm on the bay here in San Diego, but when I turn the camera around, I get so washed out, it's a terrible picture. So I'm just sitting out here on our hotel room deck.
Kind of look like you're in a shower.
I know it does. The wall does look like a shower.
Marble all around you.
Yeah, it's a nice day here in San Diego. It's not 80s or 90s or anything. It's going to be in the low 70s today, but I think
we'll take
that's
that.
better. You'll take that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's good to be here. It's good to be able to do this from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Just be able to pick up the show and take it with us. There you
How
are in
about
San
that?
Diego. That's great.
Yeah, enjoying it. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines. Nice restaurant. Stop by if you get a chance. Check it out. You'll like it. Great bar, too. The Guest House Tavern and Oyster sets the table for today's sports and more. We have Caitlin Clark cover the CyHawk doubleheader, which starts tonight with the women, and Christmas movie villains. That is all coming up. The Christmas movie villains with Mr. Movie, who will join us in the second half hour of today's show. But right now, high or low since the last Murph and Andy.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
All righty. Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax in Ankeny. Andy, you want to go high or low?
Well, I was going to go high. I was feeling good, but man, I'm going to have to go low. I was taking my shower and getting ready. I bent over, tweaked my back. God,
oh, man.
That is, first of all, it just hurts so bad. But also, it's like, why? You didn't do any. I didn't do anything. I bent over. I was using the squeegee on the glass door, and that was it. I wasn't lifting something heavy. I wasn't, exerting myself really at all. I was just doing some daily routine. It's just that drives you crazy when you hurt yourself doing nothing.
I know. I'm worried you're headed to the surgery table that I've been on a couple of times. I hope not, but I'm sorry. That is a pain right in the back.
When you get to that point where you just kind of keep re-injuring yourself, I think you're more and more willing to entertain that idea of going under the knife. But I don't think I'm there yet. It seems like every time I heard it, it's kind of a different part of my back too. So I'm wondering, there's no back transplants yet, is there? Like a hip replacement, back replacement, a backiotomy?
No back transplants. Backiotomy, yeah, lower backiotomy. I'm going to go high
You gotta go high.
I'm going high. I'm in San Diego. Our friend Bryce Miller, who many people who listen and watch the show know Bryce, he picked us up at the airport last night. That's the high part of it. He's doing great. Getting another scan here soon, but he looks great, and it's just good to see him, and we're so happy to spend some time with him. My low, we're going to rethink this. We used a travel voucher which means sometimes that you have to take the flights that aren't ideal. And we had a 12-hour travel day getting here. First, we went from Des Moines to Atlanta, which is like, reaching over your shoulder to scratch your ass. So we go backwards to Atlanta. We get a 2-hour plus layover there. And then it's a 4.5-hour flight from Atlanta to San Diego.
Please tell me those tickets were free.
One of them was, yeah. And we thought that it was a really good thing. But by the time we got here at what would be midnight Iowa time, we're like, this is something you do when you're 40 at this point in our life. Let's spend the money next time. Also a low. Jenny just went down and picked up a Monster Energy drink for me down in the hotel. What is it called? Just a little gift shop
that
type
little
thing.
Kiosk there, yeah.
$8.
It's Vegas prices.
Yeah. California prices too. Jeez.
Well, it's hotel lobby prices is what
Yes.
that is. Those guys, it doesn't matter where they are. They just gouge you.
Our friend Doug over at WHO 13 just told me, so I'm going to look this up here on the fly, that Matt Campbell has just gotten a contract extension. He's extended to 2032. So I'm looking it up, the email right now coming in from Iowa State. And it begins after leading the Iowa State football program to its first 10-win season in the 133-year history and 7th bowl game in 9 seasons. 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year Matt Campbell has agreed to a new 8-year contract that will keep him on the Cyclone sideline through the end of 2032. And then it goes on to talk about all of his many accomplishments and the culture. I'm looking to see if there is graduation rate, which seems almost quaint these days. I don't see the terms here. Yes, the last sentence is, the terms of Campbell's new contract will be announced at a future date. So that from Matt Schultz at Iowa State Sports Information. I didn't really think, especially now where all these big schools are putting a bunch of money aside in order to have to start the revenue sharing that's going to happen with players. Mm-hmm. I didn't really think there was much of a possibility, partly because there aren't a bunch of openings for anybody to go after Matt Campbell. So I never really thought there was any chance that he was leaving after the season. But this is absolutely smart for Jamie Pollard and Iowa State to lock him up. I mean, no one has ever done better, and he's checked more boxes than any coach in the history of Iowa State football.
Yeah, and I think you can also kind of add a new element to a coach's value now, and that's their ability to, or seeming ability to get players to stay, right? Because they're so mobile now, and it's so tempting to jump out of the university and go to another school.
Culture.
I mean, you're a coach that has that ability is so valuable now. I mean, literally valuable. I mean, you can almost count it by dollars and cents. I mean, he's saving you money by keeping players you've already got rather than luring players in that you need. I mean, he clearly have we ever heard a player getting sideways with Matt Campbell? I mean, there have been players who've not worked out.
Very few, though. Very few that haven't worked out, and very few contributing players into the portal. Like, I know Brett McMurphy just reported that Rocco Becht is not leaving Iowa State, which you didn't used to have an announcement that your starting quarterback would return to be your starting quarterback again next season. But as McMurphy points out in his tweet, Becht has other schools with deep pockets and bags of money making runs at Rocco Becht. But he, for the reasons you just mentioned, Andy, wants to stay in the culture that Matt Campbell has created at Iowa State. So he's not going anywhere. I know there were some whispers out there. What if his dad gets the job at West Virginia? Would he be tempted to go to West Virginia? Even though that's happened with Drake basketball, those are two different situations. I didn't think that was a a possibility. So Rocco Becht, according to McMurphy, is staying at Iowa State. Not that I thought he was leaving, but this is the world we're in right now. You have to make an announcement. I've even seen some schools announce that they've reached a new deal with their starting quarterback in college.
Yeah, I mean, it's why not? You know, that's we know that's going on. We know that's big news to the fans. It's public money, or it's going to be at least. It's going to be money that needs to be disclosed to the public. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I get it. I understand this. You know, this is where we get into that situation, though, where, you know, if things go sideways with a coach, then suddenly there's this big buyout that you have to deal with.
Right.
And the way that these buyouts come to be is, years when the coach's contract is not up or not even close to being up, and it doesn't seem like there's any chance he's going anywhere else, and yet they still get a super sweetened deal that very often, not all the time, will add to the buyout, add to the years owed to him. And then you get in just deeper and deeper with these coaches while they're still in the good graces of the school and the fans. But I mean, Matt Campbell is clearly proven himself to be a safe long-term investment at Iowa State. He's been there for a long time now. Really,
9 years.
Long time.
9 years. And he's shown he can get them right on the doorstep of the college football playoff. I mean, Iowa State in this setup can get to the playoff.
Yeah, they can. And he needs to continue to work on adding quality players. But I think we all kind of believe that if he does get that combination of substantial talent that he needs, that he can get to that next step in the current situation.
Glad you mentioned the buyout, because that kind of finishes the thought I had earlier. It's just the reason there aren't a bunch of major Power 4 college openings is because these schools can no longer just throw money at a coach to go away, to not coach. I think Florida is one example. If this had been a year ago or 2 years ago, Florida would have bought its coach out and paid him tens of millions of dollars to go. But now that they're having to set aside $20 million just to pay the players and the revenue sharing that everyone knows is coming up, you have to really want your coach out to spend that kind of money. And then Florida rewarded that patience by going on a winning run late in the season. So I think this is a positive development, that schools aren't going to send a coach packing and pay him 20, 30, in the case of Texas A&M, $75 million to go away and not coach. So Matt Campbell, as you said, is about as safe a bet as there is out there. Andy, question, just be honest with me. Marty in the comments says that I look like I'm on the toilet. Do I look like I'm on the toilet?
You do. Yeah.
Do I?
You look like you're in a bathroom.
I look like I'm on the toilet.
A nice bathroom.
Yeah, with Italian marble bathroom.
Yeah. A nice toilet.
Yeah.
Probably has a bidet.
Or in a shower. Yeah, maybe like you're squatting in the shower or something.
Jenny says she's sending you a photo, AD, just to prove
I'm
not in the toilet. But thank you, Marty. You're right. Look like I'm sitting on the pot.
Yeah, when it's too backlit, though, you don't look good. You probably get, with the ocean or whatever behind you, you'd be pretty backlit.
You get all washed out, right? Interact on YouTube, as Marty just did. You can email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy. It's all powered by Cellular Advantage, now with 35 Central Iowa locations. Proud partner of U.S. Cellular since 1993.
And speaking of which, we like this comment. Zeppelin810 says, just switch to U.S. Cellular, save $30 a month.
Thanks, you.
Guys.
Yeah. Mention us if you would. It helps. We want to keep U.S. Cellular with us for a long time. Cellular Advantage, they've been good to us. Andy, you wanted to say a quick word about sharing the podcast.
Yeah. So I have a good friend, Brian Bransgard. Some people out there will know him. He goes by Bogue. That's his nickname. He's a longtime listener of the Murph and Andy radio show. He would participate in the show. He was very engaged. Brian, friend of Mike Borland's, the high school high school classmate of him up at Humboldt. Wonderful guy. And I was texting with him yesterday, and he said he was asking how the podcast was going, and I said, yeah, it's going really, really well. He's like, well, I haven't tuned into it yet. And I was like, what? You haven't really? Because he usually was. I mean, he was so engaged. He would, sometimes text during the show. He was like, yeah, I just, I haven't quite, taken the leap into the. I'm not great with the new tech and with YouTube and that. And
it can be intimidating at first until you see how easy it is.
It is, or it's there are people of a certain age who just don't need that in their life. I mean, they're all set, they're good, but they're also cut off from a lot of really good things. And so I just, I sent him the link to our YouTube page and said, hey, here you go, just click on this, and you're all set. And he did, and he listened to the show yesterday, and he said, yep, it was really, really easy. So if we could ask you, if you have somebody like that in your life, would you do us a favor and give them a quick tutorial or just a quick hand, or share a quick link with them so that they can find our podcasts? We've done videos, we've explained it. I mean, we've done all that we can probably do, but I don't think any of that replaces just kind of a hands-on, friend-to-friend, quick little tutorial, little how-to. So if you would do that, if you've got somebody like this, a friend or a family member who you think would like the show, or maybe they participated in the radio show, but they haven't made the leap over to the podcast, would you do us a favor and give them a little show and tell for us? Because it's just like, it's just like word of mouth recommendations for a restaurant or a business. I mean, those can go so much further than anything that we can do on our end. And we truly appreciate that. If you plug somebody in for us, we will really appreciate it.
And tell them I'm not on the pot. I am not on the pot. I am just out here visiting a friend.
Yeah, you showed me this podcast. It's a guy sitting in a bedroom and another guy in a bathroom. What's up?
What's going on? Why is that guy on the toilet? Let's get the buzz here on a Wednesday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, so Caitlin Clark from West Des Moines, former Dowling Catholic star, and of course, Iowa superstar. She is the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. First WNBA player to win this honor. Say we go back 4 years, the winners have been Lionel Messi, Aaron Judge, Simone Biles, and LeBron James. So this is a big honor. The cover was splashed everywhere yesterday. I don't know that I've had one photo show up in my various social media feeds more than this, which, Andy, part of that is all of these places that aggregate content know that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. So websites can't put this photo of her on the cover of Time out there fast enough. I mean, it was everywhere. It was like a carpet bombing yesterday.
Yeah, it was perfect because it was legitimately big news, but at the same time, it's with somebody that moves the needle. This is a no-brainer. This is an athlete. We all know this, okay? People are sick of hearing us say this, but I mean, for the umpteenth time, this is an athlete who has become the most talked about athlete in America in a sport that no one was talking about.
Right.
No, not a sport that no one was talking about, a league that no one was talking about. Put them not just on the map, but put them high up on our list of viewing priorities. Viral, all the terms. Anytime that it's been a long time since we've seen somebody like this who has taken an unknown and put it all the way up at the top of our concern.
We'll go over some of the deep dive interview here before we move on to other topics. It takes about 30 minutes to read this Time Magazine deep dive. Some of you have, some of you will just read the headlines. But one of the things that comes up is Caitlin Clark talks about why she passed on the rivaled 3v3 league. And she says, quote, "I didn't rule out doing it in the future, but this year is just not the best for me. It's going to be good for me to do my own thing and have my own space. I kind of want to just stay out of the spotlight." That's exactly what I did hope she would do, and I know you did as well. She also mentioned that she wants to hit the weight room, and by the look of the photo, she's already started. She just wants to work out on her own, get a little bigger, get a little more physically ready for the grind of the WNBA. But that's a move. As of Angel Reese, the only thing people cared about was this controversy that was really fabricated and made up. And then that has continued to be the case ever since. We're not best friends by any means, but we're respectful of one another. We have tremendous battles, but when have I ever guarded her, and when has she guarded me? That all seems fair. It's not a fabricated rivalry, though. It was real. I mean, that it may not have been generated by her, but you know, when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese play, there's a lot of people that are into it, and that goes back to their college days. It also goes back to some of the things that Angel Reese has said and done. The real rivalry started when Angel Reese was following Caitlin Clark around the court, putting the championship ring finger right in her face. That's when it went to another level. It's not made up.
No, I mean, when they played each other is where it really started. I mean, they're playing each other in a national title game, and there was a lot of interest. But then, she takes it up again. She takes it up a notch with the extra flair there. It's rivalries are weird. I mean, sometimes they don't they aren't completely head to head. They aren't two players,
right?
Who. There isn't, a player guarding. You don't have to be guarding the other player to have, an intense rivalry with them. I mean, Angel Reese is the figurehead of her team. Really always has been, and same with Caitlin Clark. So when those teams match up, and not just the teams. I mean, it's like when stats match up and talk of the WNBA matches up. I mean, all of those things. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have more than enough in common to be rivals. And that rivalry is another element of why this award is so fitting. I mean, she brought every element that you could of sports, of a rivalry, of sports stardom into our previously WNBA women's basketball free stratospheres. She brought it all in there, though. And, suddenly we cared about every little detail. And it's phenomenal. I mean, if you had told us 10 years ago that this was going to happen, nobody would have believed it.
The Caitlin Clark quote that's gotten the most attention from Time Magazine, quote, "A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing." And she mentions in this interview, Caitlin Clark does, she acknowledges her white privilege. I wish she wouldn't have done this. But it's for her to do. She can say whatever she wants. I think sports is the ultimate meritocracy. The WNBA has been around for 28 years. I don't think it suddenly mattered to everybody because Caitlin Clark is white any more than the NBA started mattering to more people because Michael Jordan is black or because Tiger Woods is Calabasian or whatever he called himself. There have been many great white players in the 28 years of the WNBA. Sue Bird, Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Diana Taurasi. They were not able to move the needle. Now, it had a small niche of fans, but they couldn't move the needle. Caitlin Clark has moved the needle like no one ever has for many different reasons, and some of them you just can't explain. Sometimes somebody just has it. Tiger had it. Michael had it. Caitlin has it. It drives some Cyclone fans crazy and some of the other fans, but she has that intangible, but it's not just the intangible. She's the leading scorer in the history of the NCAA tournament. She's the leading scorer in the history of the NCAA. She has those logo threes that went viral because we'd never seen anybody else do that. She's the best women's basketball passer most of us have ever seen. And she is that good. She took Iowa to back-to-back national championships. Get back to me when that happens again with somebody else. I just wish she hadn't gone down this road because I don't think she needs to do that. And I think she is doing it because of some of the pettiness and jealousy that was out there. Mm-hmm. But I thought she was handling it all perfectly. But she must feel compelled to do this, and that's absolutely her right. It's not for me to tell her what to say. I'm just giving my own feelings.
Yeah, well, but this has been the way that she's been all along. So I'm not surprised to see this. She's being peaceful. She's being reverent. Some of us may think she's being overly reverent, but so what? Big deal. I mean, she's saying this and she's moving on. She's including everybody that she can include, and this will help this move on. I don't need some, BDE, she doesn't need to be so proud that she can't say something like this. I mean, I just don't think there's any harm in it. I mean, those who don't like her saying this are not going to like her less now. They're not going to. They're going to keep on liking her the same amount. We don't need her to be some sort of anti-social justice warrior. This is her. This is how she's been. She's a great teammate. She's a great representative of the league. She's acknowledging that people are watching and they may want to hear some of this kind of stuff. And, this may be a little bit of lip service to them, but in her mind, it helps move the situation along into something that she would rather talk about. And I think that's
it might. Don't you think? Yes, I'm sure her motivation is a good one. It's just, when are we going to stop running everything through the lens of race here, including sports? I mean, when Tiger captivated that sport like no one else ever has,
that had a lot to do with his race, though. That had a lot to do with his race. That had a lot to do with his race, and we did talk about that a lot. I mean, that brought a new contingent into golf. I mean, and that brought a new viewing body into golf.
But he was unique in that way. Like, she's not unique as a white basketball player who's great. The league's been around for 28 years.
She's not. She's unique in the way that she's from a small population state in the Midwest. Somebody that was such a big college basketball star that she put college basketball on the map and did bring a whole new group of fans with her. And I think that's the big problem. And she brought in the big problem. It's not a problem. That was the problem that many of these WNBA players had, is that she brought with her this group of new fans who had not been paying attention to the WNBA, followed her into the league, and then proceeded to tell everybody who would listen that she's the greatest player that's ever played the game.
It pissed them off. Yes,
and they were like, it did. And a lot of that, I don't think had to do with her race. It had to do with just, our age-old problem with some Johnny-come-lately wading into a scene that they've never been in before and acting like they know it all. This is you've never seen this before. This is the best of all time. And they're like, well, wait, how much women's basketball have you actually watched? Well, None, but look
Right.
at the numbers, like, okay, well, seriously, the numbers don't tell you everything. You have to be like somebody, in doing that with us in baseball, where, we've been watching this all our life. And, there's this huge baseball nation that's been paying attention since, 1910. And then somebody walking in, just fresh off the street and saying some, current player is the greatest that the game has ever seen. We're just like, okay, well, you don't know enough about that's what pissed them off. But she did bring all of those fans in there, and those fans have to start somewhere, right? I mean, they weren't watching at all, and now they're watching like crazy. And so,
Right.
You just kind of, it's kind of a good with the bad thing.
It is.
And Caitlin Clark smartly and, I think sincerely did not engage in any of that stuff. She just kept playing basketball.
She handled it really well. And
she let her fans a bunch of her fans did act like idiots, and the other side acted like idiots, and she just kept playing basketball.
And that was the perfect thing to do. And I've been around the phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark at times, that fandom, and it crosses all age groups. It crosses, it's male and female. It's young and old. It's white, black. It crosses all ethnic backgrounds. I mean, it's not just a big group of white people. I mean, she has fans from all over. But as you pointed out, Andy, and it's true, and some people don't understand this, there is something to human nature to end up being drawn to people who look like you. Like Shohei Ohtani probably has more Japanese American fans than other baseball players do, but he also has fans who are not Japanese Americans or are not of Japanese background. And just being white doesn't give you that it. Like Nikola Jokic is about to win his 4th MVP this season in all likelihood. He's great. He's going to be remembered as one of the all-time greats. He will not have the cultural impact of Allen Iverson, who did not win 4 league MVPs or even 3 MVPs. I mean, some players just have it. And Tamika Catchings, who is a Hall of Famer and a former Fever star, I like her quote here too in this article. She says, "I know people want her to say," meaning Caitlin, "more and do more." And I'm like, at 22 years old, how many of us have the skill set, have the ability to be able to communicate? Well, Caitlin Clark has actually done a really good job with that. But yeah, you did not want to hear from me at age 22 and some of these complex issues and hot potatoes that she's been able to handle well. We'll move on to the Olympic exclusion. Clark says that's a motivator and a blessing. I agree with that. She shouldn't have been left off the Olympic team. We all recognize that for what it was, and it proved, I mean, to the point of all of this discussion, the women's Olympic basketball team without Caitlin Clark at the Olympics was just a shadow and echo of what it could have been if they put her on the team. And since she ended up being first team all WNBA and set the assist record, there's no doubt she should have been on the team. But I do think it was a blessing in disguise. We talked about that at the time.
I do too. The problem with Caitlin Clark right now is that she's running out of things to impress us with, right? She's running out of things to achieve. A WNBA championship, a WNBA MVP, and an Olympic gold medal. I mean, make the Olympic team, win an Olympic gold medal. She's got to do both in the same year. I mean, honestly, she's a rookie. She just finished a rookie season, and she's already running out of things, running out of superlatives, and that's tough. That's not always good for an athlete. I mean, when you want her to have a long career, full of milestones, and I think this gives us something to look forward to. I mean, the next Olympics, that she'll be on that team. There will be a huge ramp up for women's basketball. She may be leading the U.S. Olympic team out there into the arena in the opening ceremonies. We have that still to look forward to. There was so much shit crammed into her rookie year, you couldn't notice it all. I mean, it was like we were flying by it at 150 miles an hour, and there was so much, it just all melded together into a blur.
Basketball Reference, most searched for WNBA player in each state, Caitlin Clark in all 50 states. She's also the most searched women's college basketball player this year in all 50 states. So 100 for 100. I don't think we've seen anything like that. I mean, there's not one exception. There's not one state that had its star player be more searched for. It is a phenomenon, whether you fully embrace it or you're tired of it or you want it to go away or you can't get enough of it. I can't imagine we'll see anything like this again anytime soon, certainly not from the metro area of Des Moines. CyHawk basketball series resumes tonight. The women play tonight. It is number 18 Iowa State at number 21 Iowa. Iowa has won 8 of the past 10. I didn't realize the Hawkeyes had dominated quite that much the past decade. 8 of 10. Game is in Iowa City. The tip is around 8 p.m., so it's a late start. Intriguing game here, Andy. A lot of star power. Audie Crooks, Emily Ryan, Hannah Stolke, Lucy Olson. The coaches are well known. Jan Jensen, Bill Fenley. This is great. I mean, you've been around long enough to remember when the CyHawk women's game was just for the niche of women's basketball fans, and now both these fan bases as a whole pay attention.
Yeah, and I think the complexion of this game has changed a lot over the last couple of weeks. At the beginning of the season, it seemed like Iowa State was stacked, and Iowa had lost Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin and others, and Iowa State was going to run away with this. But Jan Jensen has shown us that she can coach, and this group of largely very experienced Hawkeye players is good. They were a good team behind Caitlin Clark, and they've gotten better. So, and the fact that this is in Iowa City, I think the pressure is going to be on Iowa State here, and I would not be surprised at all if Iowa won this basketball game, because I think we are coming to realize, first of all, that Bill Fenley's team is still coming together. Has some outstanding talent, no doubt. But the sum of the parts is yet to be determined there in Ames. We're not sure exactly how good this team is. It seems like it should be great. But Iowa also has shown that in a year where there's not really any pressure on them at all, they just look like they're out having fun. They've shown that they're going to be a team to contend with.
AD, is Andy's connection, am I the only one getting all those burps, or is that going to everybody?
No, you're the only one. It's happened a couple of times when you're talking. It's burping. You're out on a balcony here. We did get the proof that you're not sitting on the toilet.
I am starting to lose the feeling in my legs from the way I'm sitting. I don't know. Yeah, you can see a little bit of the bay in the background there. It does look like a toilet wall. It does. Marty's right. Look at that.
Well, that probably keeps the ocean spray from rotting the walls. If it's marble like that, they just make it like a bathroom.
I guess so. We're on the 18th floor, so we're up a ways. Men's CyHawk game is tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. in Iowa. That's 4:30 here. I kind of like that. So this series, Andy, 5-5 the past 10 years. I think some people have probably forgotten that it's been since 2014 since Iowa State has won in Iowa City. Yeah. So the Hawkeyes have won 4 straight in Iowa City. Anybody who's seen these two teams play know that Iowa State will be favored in this game and should be, and it's the highest ranking Iowa State's ever played the CyHawk game. They're number 3 as they go into this game. But the home court has been a huge factor in this game. In fact, this was pointed out by Jack Trice Mafia. The home team has won 21 of 24 in this series in men's basketball.
Yeah, right. And, I think maybe there's some similarities between this game and the women's game where that Iowa State has got a vastly superior team to Iowa's. I mean, far better talent. They are loaded, but they are still coming together. And, great parts, still waiting on what the total sum is going to ultimately look like. At this point, Iowa is playing with house money. There's no pressure on them. They've, got some decent wins. The almost won on the road in Ann Arbor. This is a team that has got some offense, and they're playing at home, and it's the CyHawk rivalry, which just often throws everything out the window. And we can remember. You don't have to be very old to remember. A vastly superior Iowa State team going to Carver Hawkeye Arena and not just losing, but losing convincingly. Was that the Fred Hoiberg team with Monte Morris? I remember them being, I think they were top 10 when they went in there and they got punked. So this is a rivalry game where emotions run high, and it's just a little different than a normal game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Iowa State have their hands full with Iowa.
To that end, let's get some fireworks tomorrow night. Travis Hines has a good piece in the Des Moines Register about how the kind of fireworks in this series, which were so high 10 years ago with George Niang's kiss and Cordell Pemsel going into the student section and all of that. The Jordan Bohannon leaving shoes even.
Thanks for the memes.
I'm not saying get in a fight tomorrow night, but let's amp this thing up a little bit. It's been so lopsided back and forth the last handful of years. There hasn't been a close game in a while. Let's kind of amp this up a little bit. It's more fun.
It's been like a 20 to 25 point game over and over again. Just a close spirited game would be good for this rivalry. But I think just looking back and knowing that Iowa State hasn't won since 2014 there does at least put more interest in this game than you would think if you had just watched, say, Iowa State play Marquette and Iowa play, I don't know, Michigan or one of the games it's played. There just seems like there's a big gap between those two, but the home court should take much of that away. I don't see because for it to be a 20-point game, again, you have to feel like that would be Iowa State if anybody's going to win this game by 20. But there's just nothing about this series the past 25 years that would suggest that the visiting team is going to go in there and blow out the home team.
One thing that we've seen over and over again, though, recently in this series is one team just getting off to a blistering start while the other team at the same time, can't hit water from a boat.
Right.
There's this huge point deficit in the first half. And, the losing team just can never recover from that. And that's, if it's your team that's rolling that night, that's great. But if you're trying to watch it as an objective basketball fan, it isn't fun. It's not a good game.
Charlie wrote, is Murph channeling Andy doing a live vasectomy by taking a dump live on the show? If you're just tuning in, I'm not in the bathroom. I mean, there you go. Thank you. AD and
thank God,
Jenny, thank you for sending that photo in. God,
I totally was waiting to see like a towel rack over your head or like the toilet paper roll on your left elbow there.
Oh my gosh. All right. Other hot topics here. The Heisman Trophy finalists are out. It is Dylan Gabriel, Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, and Cam Ward, who, as far as we know, still plans to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, although Andy has said that he will cut off a finger live on the podcast if Cam Ward actually plays in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I have not said that. I will be shocked if he does. Yes, you misunderstood that.
Quickie
I will
poll
be shocked
presented
if he plays.
by WCI Pools and Spas.
Of the 4 Heisman Trophy finalists, who would get your vote? Is it Ashton Genty, Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, or Travis Hunter?
I am a Heisman voter, and we are told to not say until after it's announced that Travis Hunter has won. So I will hold off on who I voted for until after that. So I'll just let's hear from Andy and AD on this. Like who would have your vote?
Travis Hunter would have my vote. I love the idea of a two-way player. That just is he has got that swagger also that goes with a clear Heisman Trophy favorite, in my opinion, where he comes out there and everybody's talking about him. The cameras are highlighting where he is on the field. He's a star.
And this doesn't need to be a quarterback award every year. It doesn't just need to go to the best quarterback or the quarterback of the best team.
Right.
I love that a defensive guy can play it. I know he's a wide receiver also, but yeah, Travis Hunter is my pick as well.
He's great. And he always, to me, seems like a nice, thoughtful guy in interviews. You know, so some people you see an interview and you're like, oh, seems like a good dude. I don't know Travis Hunter, but he does seem like a good dude. Caleb Johnson at Iowa and his 23 touchdowns did not make the Heisman cut. I don't think we thought that would happen. This is not a surprise. It's not a reflection on the great season Caleb Johnson had. But the bottom line is just Iowa tapped out of the college football playoff picture early enough in the season where Iowa just faded from the national spotlight. He just did not have spotlight games. I mean, 23 touchdowns, some big touchdowns, some great moments, but he really wasn't in the conversation for this. A guy who was in the conversation and I thought would get an invitation to New York is Cam Skattebo. Did voters send the vote in before the Big 12 championship? Bryce Miller and I were talking about this last night. Bryce is with the San Diego Union Tribune, and he's a Heisman Trophy voter. And we always feel like you have to wait for the conference championship games to send in your ballot. But some voters do send it in before because they want the equity of the 12-game regular season and not somebody to have that bonus game. But Skattebo is the only back in the country. I don't know why you feel that way. I mean, what's that?
I don't know why people feel that way. I mean, those other games still count.
Yeah,
you know, if they run wild in a higher profile game, in a championship game, doesn't that make him a better player?
It did to me. I mean, and Skattebo is the only back in the country with 1,500 yards rushing, more than 1,500, and more than 500 yards receiving. Yeah. And he missed an entire game with an injury. He's the first back since Christian McCaffrey, who had a similar dominant game against one of our teams back in the Rose Bowl. He's the first one to do the 1,500, 500 since McCaffrey. So what would John Madden, the legend, say about a guy like Cam Skattebo? Well, Frank Caliendo gives us an idea.
Trying to tackle Cam Skattebo is tougher than it looks. I mean, there he goes. You got to hit a guy right there, and he's going to spin off a guy right there. That guy's tackle him, and that guy's tackle him, and that guy's tackle him, but none of those guys are actually tackle him. He somehow keeps going. You ever turn your phone to the side, Pat, and the screen stays the same up and down? What's that called? Auto rotate. Cam Skattebo has auto rotate. I don't know if that's a gyroscope or an accelerometer, a combination of those things, but that's just Cam Skattebo. And there he goes again. Boom, whack, Skattebo. I mean, even his name sounds like he's still going. Skattebo, Skattebo, Skattebo. It's not Skattebo either. People think, that's like Brett Favre. It looked like Favre, but it's actually Favre. Just Skattebo. Hits a guy right there. Auto rotate there. Scatterboom, scatterwhap, scatterboo. I mean, that's just Cam Skattebo being Cam Skattebo.
That sounds like John Madden, and he would have loved Skattebo. This is a John Madden player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely his type of player.
Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. Wish I had one right now. You can buy a big pint of Confluence for less money than we spent on this Monster energy drink in the lobby of this overpriced hotel here. Yeah, you could buy a 4-pack of Confluence.
About the same, yep.
Let's get some more here on a Murph and Andy Wednesday.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Great time to try out Either Or. They have the place all dressed up as Tinsel. Their Christmas time pop-up now through the end of the year. all decorated with the place is dripping with all of these vintage Christmas decorations. They're just trying to make it as over the top as possible. So it looks really fun. Inside and outside, they have all new menu items, cocktails as well to go along with the seasonal theme. Being that about 27% of the Earth's land is covered with mountains, it seems about right that they deserve a day of their own, and that's just what we got today. It is International Mountain Day. Now, this is interesting. I guess I didn't know this. I like geography, but I did not know this. So Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on Earth. We all know that. All 10 of the world's tallest mountains, all 10 of the world's 10 tallest mountains are in the Himalayas, very close to Everest. Or if they don't butt right up against it, they're in the Himalayas. 10 of the top 10. All of the top 20 tallest mountains are in the general vicinity as well. Nepal, China, India, Pakistan, all basically that same mountain range. So all 20 of the 20 tallest mountains in the world. So are the top 30 and the top 40 and the top 50 and the top 60 and so on and so forth as we get all the way to this point where the tallest mountain outside of Asia, and really that part of Asia, is Mount Aconcagua in Argentina at 22,838 feet. It is the 189th tallest mountain in the world. The rest are basically all there in Southeastern Asia. That is a mountainous region.
That's a mountainous region, Andy. By the way, I'm getting kind of cold.
Just talking about this, or we're looking at the picture there?
Looking at the picture while sitting out here on the bay, the cold is starting to settle in here on the pot.
Did you got some sleeves on there, right?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Maybe grab a jacket or something. Hey,
so.
Another get and go robbery, Murph. While you were gone.
Another one?
Yeah, another one this week. This one actually at the 13th and Grand Avenue location in West Des Moines. So they'll even, Get and Go has, a few locations outside of Des Moines proper, and those get robbed too.
I didn't realize there were, I don't think I know where this is in West Des Moines.
It's on Grand Avenue. It is right over near Sacred Heart Church and School. It is just west of the intersection of Grand and 8th Street.
Oh, yes.
It's by Maxie's West. Maxie's West.
I've got it now.
Just Maxie's now. Taylor Swift showed her appreciation for her hardworking Eras Tour crew by giving out $197 million in bonuses over the past 2 years to everyone involved, including truck drivers, caterers, dancers, musicians, production staff, and more. The tour, which wrapped up $197 million in bonuses, not just what she was, planning to pay them.
That's above and beyond. That's
compare that to your to your Christmas bonus there. The tour wrapped up on Sunday. As I came home on Sunday night, and my daughter was still up at 11:30, quarter to midnight.
Night?
Sunday night, and she was watching it. Yeah, I know. She was up wearing like a Taylor Swift outfit, standing up, watching the live feed of that concert, and singing every single word of it.
Jeez, the bonus.
149 shows. Became the first $2 billion concert tour in history with over 10 million attendees and a record-breaking set of ticket sales. As you're watching Home Alone this Christmas, some perspective. The McAllister's house sold earlier this year, for more than $5 million.
Wow.
Now, it's been tweaked to the max. It has a full basketball court in the basement now. Yeah, it's nuts. But still, over $5 million in plane tickets for 15 people from Chicago to Paris right now would cost you $55,000. Speaking of expensive, 3 dinosaur skeletons, including a Stegosaurus and 2 Allosauruses, are set to be auctioned at Christie's in London tomorrow, following a public exhibition. These Jurassic-era fossils, discovered in Wyoming, are expected to fetch a lot. The Stegosaurus estimated top bid $5 million. The Allosaurus is up to $8 million.
All right, say you win the bid. Andy Fales, you bid and you win it. What do you do with this?
Well, I guess you build a huge addition to your house and spend another $5 million on that and display it there. I don't know what you do with this.
These aren't museums that are bidding. These are collectors.
Well, it's anybody can bid on. A museum can bid on it. It's
Okay.
if it's up for auction. But, yeah, I think private collectors will probably be the ones that end up buying, at least one of them. All right, now it's time for a Christmas-themed round of Who's the Asshole.
All right, let's do it.
All right. This is a guy writing into Reddit. And he says, here's his story, okay? I have children ages 16, 14, 12, and 9.
16, 14, 12, 4 kids.
Okay. The 9-year-old still is somebody who believes in Santa. My ex-wife and I have been divorced for 5 years. We share time on Christmas no matter whose day it is, and we alternate every other year who has them for the Christmas morning Santa wake-up.
This is headed toward the bitterness in this divorce. This is headed to the this is where this is going.
Yeah, it seemed pretty equitable up to this point.
Yeah, so far.
Except Santa Claus comes to my ex's house, whether it's her year or mine. Am I the asshole here for not wanting her to do Santa when it's my year? Her excuse, what she told my 9-year-old, is that Santa knows they live at her house too. So not only are we now competing on Santas, but she's putting me in the position of doing Santa at my house on her year, if the logic presented to my 9-year-old is to be preserved.
Okay.
I guess I could be the asshole for denying my kids 2 rounds of Santa every year. Except I don't think there should be dueling Santas. The lifestyles, shall we say, are by no means equivalent between the 2 houses. Am I the asshole? Not sure what that part means. Somebody must be richer than the other.
Yeah, the whole 2 Christmases theory, the Ricky Bobby, 2 Christmases.
Yeah. Well, or, maybe she remarried somebody and just goes way over, that's rich.
It could be.
They go way over the top, whatever. So I will point out before we give our own judgments, responses on Reddit are overwhelmingly critical of this guy.
Of this guy?
The ex-husband, yes. One of them says, Santa comes to every house. Don't make this a competition between you and your ex-wife. And there's no dueling Santas, only a dueling bitter you.
Oh, wow.
What do we think of this guy? Is he being the a-hole here, the asshole?
I need a little clarity here because I don't completely understand. Is he saying he only wants Santa to visit the house of whoever has the kids on Christmas morning?
Yeah, yes.
And
whoever's turn it is, Santa comes to that house, somehow knows how to skip the other house. Even though there will be presents at the other house.
Yeah. But the actual Santa is only,
Santa's presence will only be at the house whose weekend it is.
Tell the kids Santa isn't real. It's over. That moves us right along.
But the kid's 9, so how much time do you really have?
Andrew,
much. I hope you haven't had.
I think it's Matt at this point.
Oh no, it's Matt at this point. Yeah, Matt. Andrew
they do a tag team thing. Yeah, those guys work together on everything. I don't have a strong feeling about this one. Andy, do you have a strong feeling?
I think the guy is wrong. I think the guy's the a-hole. I think 100%. he's being petty. He's being competitive. He's worried that now I gotta do Santa at my house even when it's not my year.
Christmas is about the kids. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Christmas is about the kids.
This guy is directly making this about
Bitterness.
the duel between him and his wife.
Yeah.
He's the asshole.
All right. Done. Gavel. Boom.
That's your more, everybody.
That's it. Grimaldi's fan photos. A reminder, you can send us those fan photos to Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. We'll pick one fan photo winner each Friday on Murph and Andy. And then, hey, it's more taco. God, see him everywhere. And then the fan photo winner can go to Grimaldi's with a $50 gift card, Cole Brick Oven Pizzeria. There's so much more there than pizza. You can go to the West Des Moines location or Prairie Trail in Ankeny. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege to present Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody. Presented by P&P Small Engines.
Yes, Mr.
Gentlemen,
Movie.
how are you?
Mr. Movie's in Des Moines. Andy's in West Des Moines. I'm in San Diego. We're coming to you from 3 locations. Matt is, I'm not sure where Matt is. Matt, where are you?
A mysterious location.
Okay, ooh. Matt is in a mysterious.
Oh.
Matt can't
I'm
say
in Ames,
where he
Iowa.
is.
I'm in Ames, Iowa.
Oh, okay. He's in Ames, Iowa. Mr. Movie, as we move into almost mid-December here, what do you recommend from P&P Small Engines?
I'm just going to tell you, I used to have like a huge snowblower. It was one of those big Aaron's, big yellow ones, and you just, I mean, it would move the house. And last year I went and I bought one of the battery ones, and I'm telling you, it's dinky and it does a better job than that great big thing. So
I did the same thing. I actually downsized my snowblower at P&P. It is easier, in my opinion, it's easier to use the smaller snowblower.
Well, and you don't smell like gas and stuff. I mean, some people are going to use those, and that's great, but I don't know. That little one is slick.
Yeah, mine's still gas, but smaller is better. Don't tell Dr. Ruth.
100% chance some of that conversation ends up on the Week in Iowa. Unnecessary censorship there. Mr. Movie, you have to think ahead more on what you're saying. All right, our out-of-the-box topic is somebody in a Christmas movie that others love or find inspiring or think is a really cool character or a really cool scene, and you just find it kind of annoying. And gosh, AD probably left because of my choice. And this is how much he loves this movie, Love Actually.
You wanted this subject because of this one thing.
Yeah, you're right.
The rest of us struggled through our choices.
Yeah, this is my choice. Like, there's so many people. I do like the movie Love Actually.
It's a great movie.
I enjoy it. I find it great. But this particular scene and this inspiring character who has made so many others have videos, memes, and all of that. It's Andrew Lincoln, and he kind of plays an obsessed borderline stalker in this movie with his best friend's wife. He's obsessed with his best friend's wife. So he shows up at the door around Christmas time. He asks his best friend's wife to lie, say he's not there, or just to pretend he's not there or whatever, to say something else. So now he's asking his best friend's wife to lie. Then he tells the Keira Knight character here about his undying love, again, for his best friend's wife on this series of poster boards. She kisses him and he leaves. And many people find this beautiful and touching and inspiring. This guy needs to be punched in the nuts.
It's Keira Knightley.
It's best friend code, Mr. Movie. You can't do this.
Well, I think I'm with the majority here. I kind of like this guy. And this is one of the most memorable scenes of any modern Christmas movie.
It absolutely is. And he's a borderline stalker for his best friend's wife.
He hasn't stalked her at all.
As a matter of fact, he's tried, in this case, he's tried to lie to his best friend.
He's tried to stay away from her. She keeps bugging him for this videotape of the wedding that he's ashamed that he shot because he just kept shooting her. He was just gonna. He was just gonna. He was gonna sit on. Oh yeah, he's in love with his best friend's now wife, and it sounds like he's been in love with her for quite a while, and he knows it's wrong, and he's trying to stop it. So he's just gonna do this final thing where he does these cards, and she reads them, and then at the end he literally says, "All right, that's it," and then he walks away. So I kind of liked. I thought
think
this
he's
was
capping
kinda
it,
sweet.
and he's going to move away from the obsession and the stalking. He's going to
No,
go
he doesn't.
right.
He never stalked her.
Well,
he didn't ever stalk her,
except for this one time. And then he's going to go right Jesse's Girl, turn it into a worldwide sensation.
He well, I don't think he's the first guy to be in this situation, but he just, well, I mean, clearly too, he thinks he was superior to his best friend. Should have been him.
Yeah.
But he knows it's too late, so he just does the card thing, and the cards are really they're like perfectly timed also.
I think those were first in a Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan song. Yeah,
music
video.
Right.
Video. Yeah. But this is.
I do like the movie, and I'm going over the top about this. But this is what we do with out of the box topic. Andy,
this is a hard topic. I had a really hard time coming up with one because I mean the Christmas movies that I like a lot. I mean I kind of like everything about them, but in Die Hard, there is that one dickhead that just thinks he's hot shit. That he's the one with the terrorist. This guy with the glasses here.
This guy that talks like this.
Yeah, he's just like, ow! I just gotta keep outscored on him, and he just thinks he's just smoking on this whole thing. He's the one breaking the codes. Ow! Armored tent carrier blown to bits.
One more.
I'm not quoting him directly, but yeah, he's just loving it. When does he get his? I don't remember when he gets his. Does he have some unceremonious death that just gets glossed over?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
He may even make it out of there or something, but I don't remember. But the other ones are just like classic bad guys, like the guy there over his shoulder. I don't remember the name of that actor. He's a great bad guy. And then Alan Rickman, of course, is just iconic. But this guy's just annoying. Argyle's kind of annoying also, the limo driver. Just thinking it's so cool that he's got a car phone. But this guy, I wish that he had, fallen off the building along with Alan Rickman.
See, I'm glad we had this topic because that's an inspiring choice. I think that's very good. And I know I don't even have to guess Mr. Movie's choice here.
No, you don't.
You can't wait to talk about this.
I hate talking about this because then, I'm assaulted in public. How could you not like Christmas Vacation? It's not funny. I watched it last year. I said,
it's
Sue,
so funny. How can you say it's not funny?
I made Sue sit down and watch it. She lasted 15 minutes. She said, I think her IQ was dropping.
He's coming to Iowa to Ottumwa this weekend for a Q&A after the movie. We expect you to be there front and center.
There is snowball's chance in hell I would do that.
Wait, who's doing that? Chevy Chase is doing that?
Yes.
Oh,
this
man.
weekend.
Wow.
He's pretty far gone.
Did Tom Arnold put him up to that?
Yeah, he's going to Ottumwa?
Yes, for a screening of Christmas Vacation and then a Q&A. So, Mr. Movie
how desperate is he for money?
Like you like what is it about this you don't like? I don't get it.
I just don't think it's funny. I think it's stupid. And there's this little squirrel that jumps out at people.
That part's kind of silly, the squirrel, but the rest of this, there's so much truth to this. I mean, I was just up on the ladder on Sunday and I was thinking about Chevy Chase because you're just so carelessly walking around or, maneuvering around 25 feet off the ground, right? I mean, one misstep and you are massively injured for the rest of your life. And you just are fooling around, and he's up there and he's stapling his sleeve to the wood. He's trying to move the ladder without getting all the way down and lifting it up again.
I think the actual biggest flaw in this movie is don't the in-laws show up like a week or two ahead of Christmas? Like, no, nobody does that. Nobody's there for that long. They're there too long.
I think you've got the two, the two ends of the spectrum. You've got Love Actually, a classic, and then you've got this stupid, inane comedy with Chevy Chase in it.
I'd watch this every year. I do find it funny. Yeah, I love it. All right, AD's choice.
I'm really glad that you guys think it's funny.
We do.
Okay.
All right, Home Alone is AD's choice. Now, AD leaves this note for us. He says it's a near perfect movie, but there's one scene he doesn't like. It's when Kevin goes grocery shopping, and AD writes that it's supposed to show some maturity, but are we really supposed to believe that in like 2 days, this kid has matured to the point that he's using coupons and shopping sensibly, but not so much that he'll call the cops or tell an adult that he's alone? Also, no chance he doesn't get caught being alone. So that's his annoyance.
Just kind of annoying it's annoying that that's so unrealistic.
Yeah, I guess that is.
If
I
realism,
don't like that movie either.
You don't like that movie either.
I like the second one. The second one's classic.
What? You don't like the first one?
You're putting the second one ahead of the first one?
Absolutely.
Mr. Movie, you're drunk today, aren't you? You're drunk and you're home.
Okay, there was some peanut brittle earlier, but other than that, I'm fine.
The
spiked peanut brittle.
If you get all hung up on reality, and it's got to be a realistic situation, you don't have any business watching Home Alone.
Okay.
No, you don't. All right, so we got some movies to review here this week. Night Bitch, Y2K, and Black Doves on Netflix, which my wife Jenny is watching right now, so I'm interested to hear what you say about that. But let's start with the one whose title cannot be ignored, Night Bitch. This is Amy Adams.
That's Amy Adams. Holy cow.
Great actress.
It doesn't look like her.
She plays this mom who's home with her kid all day, her son, and her husband he travels. And so she's in a bad place. The kid's bugging her. She's just not happy. The women who lunch are wondering where she is. And she gets this book about animals. And she's reading this book about animals. And she literally starts to become a dog.
Come on.
Swear.
The title
She's out in the park running on all fours, chasing cats in the night.
Oh, is it any good?
No, it's really not.
It doesn't sound good. It sounds a little bit like that lobster movie you hated so much.
Oh, it's better than that one. But it climaxes with her killing the family cat.
Come on. She's a dog.
She's a dog. She's not
I understand, but holy cow. I'm thinking, what is wrong with her?
What's the grade for this?
It's a C-.
I think you're being generous based on the descrition.
How did this get out of how did this get out of the room? I mean,
yeah.
What's your idea for the idea for a movie is what? The woman, and at night she turns into a dog.
But let's make sure we get one of the most accomplished actresses in the world to play this part. Let's get Amy Adams in her 6 Academy Award nominations or whatever.
I'm assuming it was some kind of acting exercise. This is okay. Let's see what will happen here.
All right, Y2K. We remember 24 years ago when we thought the world might end in some capacity. How's this?
I actually sat in my neighbor's basement with my hand on the power. So when it hit midnight, I just shut down the whole house. So anyway, this is without doubt one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Jeez, man, you're rolling this week, Mr. Movie.
It was absolutely horrible. There's not a laugh in it. There's nothing funny about it. It's just two stupid guys trying to get up the nerve to go to a party so one of them can talk to a girl. It is, it's bad.
What's the grade? You guys know who made this, right? So you remember Kyle Mooney from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
So he left Saturday Night Live, and I think this is his first project since
Maybe
then.
he should
so
go back.
He
He's
should
one
go
of my
back.
favorites, but this is disappointing.
Okay,
God,
what-
I was the only one in the theater, and I still felt bad.
What's the grade?
Keith, it's a F minus.
F.
I don't even know
F.
if you can give an F a minus.
You've never given an F minus.
No.
So wow.
I'm telling you, I was just livid when I left.
It kind of makes me want to see it with a 6-pack, just to see if it's
I'll go
so
with you.
bad that it's.
I'll go.
Yeah, just what's that Tomatoes movie that people would go watch because it was so bad? All right, Black Doves.
Black Doves is not bad. Black Doves is a good solid B plus. It's on Netflix. Keira Knightley, so it immediately has a B. And this Ben Whishaw. I've seen him a lot. I don't know what he's been in though.
The Star Trek movies.
They are undercover people. They're living secret lives, and it's super violent in a good way. I mean, it's British assassins trying to kill people, and it's good. I don't know.
Sweet old 80s BMW in the background there.
Yeah,
What a sweet car.
Well, and Keira Knightley in the foreground's not bad either. But.
Yeah, you're starting to sound like you're going to show up with poster boards on her doorstep on Christmas Eve.
It works. Works with her.
Yeah.
What I saw on the airplane last night, a documentary that I recommend. It's called Superman, but it's Super/Man.
Yeah.
The Christopher Reeve story.
Is it good?
It's really good,
Okay.
and it's not a hagiography. It's warts and all of his children, his family participates in it, but there are a couple of things that are just really incredible about this movie. One of them is Robin Williams could not come off any better as just they were best friends. They were great friends. And Glenn Close even says, I believe if Chris Reeve was still alive today, that Robin Williams would still be alive today. They were that much yin and yang together. And Robin Williams, after Christopher Reeve has the accident where, the whole world tries to get its mind around Superman can't be paralyzed. Superman can't be in a wheelchair. And it's Christopher Reeve's son, the one who looks just like him, the youngest son. He says a half inch to the left, and it would just be an embarrassing fall. A half inch to the right, and he would have been dead instantly. So it's you will have tears, but it's mostly a movie about hope and compassion. Mm-hmm. And what I found most interesting is the kids all agree that Christopher Reeve, who had a really overbearing father who he was not close to, when he was Superman and when Christopher Reeve was Superman and when his kids were young, he always tried to connect with them on a physical level, like going horseback riding or playing football or playing softball. And like everything was more about the activities as a family, but they didn't feel that close to him. And then after his accident, he actually becomes to the kids a much better father because he can only connect with them mentally. Wow. And it's no longer about the activities. It's about asking them how you're doing. How's your life? How's your, how are your friends? What's going on at school? So he becomes this incredible father who they got so much closer to in that state than when he was up and around as Superman. So I found that very interesting and kind of a note for myself too, to remember that it's always the mental connection.
Well, and you mentioned Robin Williams. There's also a documentary about Robin Williams coming out too that looks pretty intense. So 2 very, very talented men.
Yes. What do we have coming up next week, Mr. Movie?
We've got, I haven't seen the list from the folks at the box office yet, but I know that nationally there's a movie called September 5th, which is the 1972 Munich Olympics. So I think we've seen that a couple of times, but I guess
this is about the media behind the scenes in that, and has good buzz around it, good Oscar buzz around it.
And there's Maria, which is Maria Callas, played by Angelina Jolie, who we haven't seen in a long time.
No,
So
just in the tabloids.
We're kind of in that little gap between Wicked and Moana 2, and then all of the stuff that comes after that. So this is kind of a little down week to let people get out to catch up with what's in the theaters now. But it's going to hit hard and heavy here pretty quick, though.
Enjoy the movies, Mr. Movie.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
That's Mr. Movie, presented by P&P Small Engine. And it is, we're going to have to go fast on this, Matt. We got to get Andy out of here, but it's time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
All right, guys, we'll make it quick. It's time for Throwdowns. Which bowl game is more compelling? Is it the Music City Bowl or the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
I'll go Pop-Tarts Bowl just because it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. These games don't really mean much anymore. And at least the Pop-Tarts has some fun with the whole deal, and Miami is a bigger football brand than Missouri. I don't think one has a big advantage over the other, but I'll go Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I'll go Pop-Tarts Bowl too. I was by far most interesting player is not playing in this game. So, and the quarterback situation is not very interesting. I mean, it's just really, it is hurting for storylines.
All right, guys, Army, Navy this weekend, bowl games right around the corner. Are you guys ready for a little break from football before we get into the bowl season?
I'm not. I love football and really don't ever feel like I need a break from it.
I don't feel like I need a break. I mean, I do look forward to the point where basketball gets serious and we shift our attention away, and that happens. I mean, we're going to get a break anyway. It's the holidays. We have other things to focus on. But, I mean, at this point, the interesting football is just ramping up. So this isn't really the year where I feel like any of us are tired of college football. We can't wait for what's next, at least on the national scene, if not with our local teams.
The Swifties are having a hard time right now. The Eras Tour, as Andy mentioned, has come to an end. What's the best concert you guys have been to?
The most immersive, the one that jumps to mind right away, is seeing U2 last year at the Sphere. I just can't, I don't even know how to tell somebody what it's like to experience that. It exceeded all my expectations, which were high. Best performance I've ever seen was Michael Jackson back before he went a little crazy and changed his appearance at Off the Wall tour. My friends in high school bought me tickets for my birthday, and we were up front. And that was like Freddie Mercury at Live Aid, watching Michael Jackson perform at the peak of his powers.
Gosh, my friends in high school would not have taken me to a Michael Jackson concert. Good foresight by your friends. Honestly, I think the best experience I've ever had was when I was on spring break, my senior year of high school. My best friends in high school and I were in Key West, and first of all, Jimmy Buffett played, and we saw Jimmy Buffett play, but that wasn't it. The best show I saw, there is a reggae legend named Burning Spear, which reggae junkies will know him. Most other people won't. I saw him at this small club, and the sound was so perfectly tuned. It felt like the bass was hitting me in the back.
Wow.
It was an amazing show. It went on, and everybody just grooved to it the whole time. Everybody was high, we could say that. But it was just, I didn't really know what I had seen until I got older, and then learned more about reggae and about Burning Spear. And I'm really lucky I got to see that show.
That sounds like a cool experience. That's a good choice. Birkwood Bullseye is back. You can email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com for a chance at shooting for Birkwood Farms prizes when we broadcast live from the Birkwood Farm shop on Northeast 14th Street in Des Moines a week from Friday. So not this Friday, but the following Friday, December 20th. So you just email us, tell us how you'd use Birkwood Farms products to make your holidays better. And all contestants will go home with something nice. You'll shoot the bullseye. There'll be a big overall winner, but everybody will get something nice. Today's winner is Catherine Pacha. I hope I'm saying that right, Catherine. She says she loves Berkwood Farms and that Murph and Andy are the best. Well, that's how you suck up like that. Yeah, of course. Come on, Catherine. Come over and join us on the 20th. We love that.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, it is coming up. Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. AD's gone. Matt's in for AD, but we call it the AD squared.
Presented by Game Day Men's Health, locations in West Des Moines, Ankeny, and North Liberty. So Andrew left this for us. I wish he was here for it, but I guess Andy, you can kind of play into this. I know you're not an Andrew, but he left this video. So a guy named Paul Conway does videos where he suggests new nicknames for people, and he tackled the name Andrew. Let's hear it.
These are nicknames for your friend named Andrew, Blandrew, Andy Kane, Drool, Supply and Demandrew, Androgynous, Deja Drew, Sippin' on Gin Andrews, Delusions of Grandrew. Just go with the middle bit. Call him Doctor. Andromeda. One Night Standrew. Android. Ew. Scooby Dooby Drew. Drewshbag. Drewbacca. You can't handle the Druth.
Drewshbag.
Those are good.
Those are good, man. Nice
good.
job there, Matt and Andy Kane. Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Of the 4 Heisman Trophy finalists, who would get your vote? 52% go with Travis Hunter. 41% go with Boise State's star running back. Only a couple of votes for the others in the poll here: Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward.
Thank you.
Disappointed to not see Scattaboo on that list, man.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like he'd be getting more love than Cam Ward, at least from our audience.
I think too many people sent the vote in before the championship games. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy. Today we're live from Ames, West Des Moines, and San Diego, and Des Moines, because Mr. Movie was on as well. Please like, subscribe, and review your Iowa Everywhere shows. It all helps. We're back Friday from San Diego and West Des Moines and Urbandale, and we hope you are too.